Moving on to question number 9. Now, question number 9, this is going to start your review session for your possible extra credit portion. This is going to be from chapter number 4. Let's go ahead and start with labeling the quadrants and the axes. So the axes are these right here. This is your y-axis. And then here is your x-axis. For your quadrants, you're going to start in the upper right-hand corner. We can go quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Now take a look here. It looks like we still need to label our axis, so it's still that purple line. This is still your x-axis. And here is our yellow line, which is our y-axis. Okay, moving on to question number 10. This is create a mapping, graph, and a table. So for a table, you're going to copy and paste each one. So each one of these points has an x and y values, and you're going to copy and paste each one. So 0, 3, -6, -2, -4, 3, 4, and 10. For graphing, you're going to take a look at your x and y values. Remember, here's your x-axis, here's your y-axis, and you're going to find the point location for each one. These do not have letters like A, B, C, D, so we're just going to graph them. 5 and -7 goes down here. 0 on the x, 3 on the y. -6 and -2. -4 and +3, and +4 and +10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up here, 10. There's no other labeling that you need to do, just graph them. Now for a mapping is where you have a lava lamp for x's and a lava lamp for y's. You're going to either list them out exactly how you see them. Oop, that's wrong. I'm going to actually look here. It's going to be easier for me. Instead of looking at your points, you can look at your table. Here's 5, here's 0, here's -6, here's -4, here's 4. Now you can do them in order. This is fine. Or you can do them not in order. So I can put -7 here. I can put a 3. I can put a -2. Do I have more? Yes, I have 10. Now notice that I only wrote 3 one time here in the mapping. Now, there are no repeated numbers in the mapping for x's and y's. We are not testing if this is a function. We are just saying, hey, in the lava lamp, don't put the same thing. Now, this is not a mapping. This is incomplete. This is just 2 bubbles with numbers inside them. In order to create a mapping, you have to draw the relationship between the 2 numbers. So 5 has a relationship with -7. 0 has a relationship with 3. -6 has a relationship with -2. -4 has a relationship with 3, and 4 has a relationship with 10. You can list them out in order, just make sure there are no repeats. Next one is asking to identify if something is a function or not. And so what you're going to look is you're going to take a look at your x values only. So let's go ahead and label every single one x and y. And we're only caring about your x's. Here's your x, here's your x, here's your x. Oh, I missed one. Here's your x, and here's your x. Now, we're mostly interested if there are any repeated numbers. So 5 was 0, -6, -4, and 4. So all of these x values are different. So no repeat x values. Which means if it's no repeats, that means yes, it is a function. Let's try again. Oh, it looks like it's the same numbers, so we're not trying again. But instead, we're going to be looking for domain and range. So let's go ahead and start with our x's and y's again. For domain, we're going to be talking about our x's. For range, we're going to be talking about y's. We're going to take a look at all of our x's, which are here, and we're going to graph them on the number line. So let's start with x's at 5. Here's 5. Here's a little dot. 0. Here's 0. Negative 6. Negative 4. And positive 4. And what you're going to do is you're going to pick up every single value and write them in that order. So on the left, I have negative 6. Then I have negative 4. Then I have 0, 4, and 5. You must have squiggly brackets at the end, but you're basically copying and pasting those numbers. For y, let me choose a different color. We get negative 7, 3, negative 2, 3, and 10. So I notice that we have a repeat of 3, and that's okay. I'll show you what to do with repeated numbers. Now, repeated numbers are not allowed. So I'm looking at the green, so negative 7, 3, negative 2, another 3, and a 10. So again, we're going to pick these up. So even though there are repeats, I'm not going to write it more than one time. Remember squiggly brackets. So again, repeats are okay for domain and range on the number line, but when you write them here, there are no repeated values. So no repeated values when you're writing domain and range. All right, moving on, we're going to find the slope. Now this involves the slope formula. Let's go and label our point, x1, y1, x2, y2. Slope formula, we got bubble minus bubble, bubble minus bubble. And we got y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So y2 is 20, y1 is 10, x2 is 18, x1 is negative 6. If you have any double negatives, you do want to circle them and fix that. So we get 20 minus 10, no double negatives. Here I do see one, so we got 18 plus 6. Now top and bottom, these are counters. And so we calculate 20 minus 10, that's 10, and 18 plus 6 is 24. I'm going to put this in a thinking bubble because you have to simplify your fractions. So we're looking for a number that goes into 10 that also goes into 24, and that number happens to be 2. 2 divided by 10, or excuse me, that's wrong. 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 24 divided by 2, that's 12. So this here is your slope. Let's go do it again. x1, y1, x2, y2. Write out our slope formula. y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. y2 is 18, y1 is negative 6, x2 is 10, and x1 is negative 2. Fix any double negatives that you have. We get 18 plus 6. Oh, looks like we have the same thing here, which was 24. And then we have 10 plus 2, which is 12. If you can, go ahead and simplify. You need to divide, so we can divide top and bottom. Here's your thinking bubble. We can divide top and bottom by 12, or you can just do 24 divided by 12. So we get 2 over 1 as our slope. Okay, moving on to the next one. Well, looks like we're on our last page, so a couple more. This time they're asking us to find the midpoint. Midpoint formula is big parentheses, comma in the middle. We're going to divide by 2, plus and plus. We're going to take our x's, we're going to add our x's, x1 and x2. We're going to take our y's, we're going to add our y's, y1 and y2. Let's label our point, x1, y1, x2, y2. So this looks like open parentheses around here with a comma in the middle. And so now we say, okay, x1 was 1, x2 is negative 5, y1 is negative 1, y2 is also negative 1. Negative 5 plus 1 is a negative 4. Negative 1 and negative 1 is a negative 2. Simplify, divide your fractions. Same or different, different. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Same or different, different. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And you want to put those parentheses around your answer. Okay, let's go again. I'm going to go ahead and skip writing the formula because it's the same formula for both, since we are trying to solve for midpoint. Labeling our point, x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, x1 is 7, y2 is also 7, negative 6 for y1, and negative 4 for y2. 7 plus 7 is 14. Negative 6 and negative 4 is a negative 10. Make sure you have your parentheses with every step. 14 divided by 2, that's 7. And negative 10 divided by 2, same or different, different, we have 5. Okay, moving on to the next one. The next one is asking us for distance. So a different formula. Distance, I'm going to write it out here. Distance is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 quantity squared plus y2 minus y1 quantity squared, and then we take the square root. This is where you're going to need to know how to simplify your fractions, not fractions, simplify your radicals, and have your perfect square roots memorized. Let's go to start by labeling our point, x1, y1, x2, y2. And writing out our formula, I usually like to do the square root, do open minus open, close it, square it, add it, and then open minus close it, square it here. So okay, so we got x2 is negative 2, x1 is negative 4, careful here on double negatives, and then y2 is 6, y1 is 8. And what you're going to do is you're going to take care of double negatives if you have it. So here we have negative 2 plus 4 squared, 6 minus 8, no double negatives, squared. Inside the parentheses, we just do counters. So 4 minus 2 is 2. 6, negative 8 is negative 2. Make sure to expand your squared. So now we get 2 times 2 and negative 2 times negative 2. These are right here. In this step, this is always going to be positive. We get 4 plus 4, which gives us square root of 8. Now this right here is not your answer. You must simplify by saying, okay, square root of 8 is equal to the square root of 4 times the square root of 2, and the square root of 4 can be simplified to 2, so therefore our answer is 2 root 2. This is the answer. Okay, let's go again. Let's label our point. Write our distance formula. And again, the way that I like to write it is open minus closed, square it, plus open minus closed, square it. x2 is negative 2, x1 is negative 8, y2 is 6, y1 is 3. Double negatives, let's go ahead and take care of that, rewriting it. We get negative 2 plus 8 squared and 6 minus 3 squared. 8 minus 2 is 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. Expand, so we got 6 times 6 and 3 times 3. Use your multiplication table for this. Make sure you have a square root, a radical with each step. Make sure you have a house with each step. Here we have 36 plus 3 times 3 is 9. We get 36 plus 9. This is just counters, and we get 45. Again, this is not your answer, so I'm going to put it in a thinking bubble. we do need to see if we can split this up, which we can. So we're going to say the square root of 45 is equal to the square root of 9 times the square root of 5. And we can simplify the square root of 9 to 3. So our actual answer is going to be 3 times the square root of 5. This is your answer. Moving on to the final two questions for us, it is asking us to write the equation in slope-intercept form. So we want an equation, means we're going to have an equals. Slope-intercept form is your y equals mx plus b. So y equals mx plus b is the format that they want our equation in. That means we only need two pieces of information. We need the slope for m, and we need the y-intercept for b. Let's start with this one, and let's start with the slope. You're going to go ahead and find, actually let's start with the y-intercept. Your starting point is going to be your y-intercept, and that's going to be the number where it crosses the y-axis. So here we have -3. Here's your y-axis. This is your starting point. So immediately you can start writing the equation y equals something, x, and then this number is your y-intercept, not your slope, your y-intercept, at -3. Now, you do need your slope, so let's go ahead and count that. We are going up. Let's find another pretty point. Looks like our next pretty point is here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up, 1, 2, 3 to the right. We are increasing, so we're going uphill. And increasing means that we have a positive slope. So we have a positive 5 over 3 as our slope. And now this, all of this is your equation for the line. Let's try this again. Again, y equals slope x. Let's find our y-axis. Let's find the number on our y-axis, which is, oh, looks like -3 again. It's not always -3, just keep that in mind. And let's count our slope. Let's find another pretty point. Oh, looks like I have a pretty point here. And let's count. So this time I'm actually going down 1 and 1, 2 to the right. Notice how we are decreasing. We're going downhill, so that means my slope is going to be negative. So I have -1 over 2 as my slope, meaning all of this is my answer to the equation question. All right, beautiful people, that is it. Good luck on your exam that is coming up tomorrow. Bye!